Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and this is the PSE Fortis 30. It comes in a 33 or a 30-inch version, so this is the 30. The 30-inch version is adjustable from 25 to 30.5 with rotating modules. The modules are the same as what you see on all PSEs, and you can adjust the let off by moving the draw stop forward, basically reducing the let off. I'm going to say it's got a 90% let off without even drawing it, because that's what people would want, 90% let off. The bow is meant to weigh about 4.5 from memory. Brace height of almost 7 inches, 6.87. Brace height is almost 7 inches, and it's meant to shoot at 340 feet per second. Now, it definitely comes in black, because this is black. It comes in camo, it may come in other colors as well. Now, before doing this review, I did a little bit of research and see where this sort of sat in the marketplace compared to other bows and how it's priced in America and in Australia. Now, in Australia, this is priced at around the $1,900 mark. So it's up there as far as hunting compact bows. So it competes against bows like the Elite Omnia, the Elite Envision. Both of those bows will be cheaper than this. In America, they're about the same price. It competes against the Bowtech SS34, which in America is the same price as this bow. In Australia, the Bowtech's a little bit more expensive, and part of that will be the postage into Australia is more expensive. It competes against the Hoyt VTM 31, very similar specs. The Hoyt is a 6-inch brace height, where this is 7, and the Hoyt, off memory, is a little bit slower. I'm not sure why. I'm guessing there's more weight in the cams of the Hoyt. Now, first thing, I haven't shot this bow. I haven't shot it 60-pound fully wound up, and I haven't yet shot a 60-pound compound from heart surgery. The cams look the same as what I'm familiar with on all the ECS cams, but it looks a little bit more longer, elongated. I was going to say longer. The module looks pretty much the same, although some people say it's a little bit thicker. Roller cable guard, carbon rod. The carbon rod fits on twice, which is nice. That's an improvement. It's got this Piccadilly rail, so you can fit a sight on the front. There's not many sights on the market which take this, so if I want to fit a normal sight to it, multiple sight mounting holes here, you're going to have to unscrew this bracket. I don't know if I like that. It's also got the ability to fit a Piccadilly RS on the back here. There's a few of those. QAD's got some, but again, there's not a lot of them on the market. The strings are the standard live wire strings. These are new from PSE. These are muchly improved over the old models. The cam system's changed. So this is I'm going to say a little lug tuning system. So you pull these lugs out and you stick other ones in to move the cam left or right. You've got to buy those kits. Now, I'm going to say with Bowtech, it's adjustable by moving a little Allen key, moves the cam left and right. Elite, you move the limbs up and down. Hoyt comes with shim kits, I'm pretty sure. It does on the target bows. I'm assuming it does on the hunting bows. So with this, you've got to buy the shim kit. I'm guessing the shim kit's about $70. So we're going to try and draw this bow back. So how does it rate? Oh, the finish. It's like a... It's not an anodized. It's like a thick black paint. Looks really durable. It's nicely finished. I like this. This looks nice, so I'm going to say an improvement. It's got this little stabilizer down here, obviously to absorb some shock. One stabilizer mount there, rear spot there. Now, if you want to move this up there, you could, and you can use this as a lower stabilizer. So that's your thing. There's no limb locking, metal limb pockets that you'd expect that. This limb system is pretty standard on the PSE. It pulls it into the side to lock it in place. Each limb's got different deflection. I'll just run through them. 941 top left, 941 top, 941 on all the limbs. Now that's different. PSE used to have different limbs on all the bows. This time they're all the same. That's different. So let's see if I can draw this back at 60, and then we'll fit a sight to it and we'll see how we shoot with it. I'm going to say the grip feels different to a PSE. So I'm going to say whoever it was designing, and I should know who designed the PSE bows, because he's been there for years and years, and I do know him. He's clearly gone. He may not have gone, but I guess he's gone, because this grip feels different to any PSE in the past. It feels squarer, narrower, feels a bit like a Hoyt grip, and not the Hoyt grip from the hunting bow, the Hoyt grip from the target bows. So it's a very different grip. It's got texture on the front, smooth on the sides. It's not what I'm familiar with. So I'm not going to say I like it or dislike it yet, because I haven't drawn it, but it's different. So in the past, PSE have had the NXT 31, 33 and 35, and I thought that was a really good choice of bows. 31 inches or 33 inches for hunting, 35 being that nice hybrid crossbow. Then they brought out the EVL, which was 32 and 34, and I thought, well, they're getting rid of one of the bows to have less options, and that didn't make much sense to me. And then they brought out the Fortis, and I didn't know that was replacing the EVLs. So it was a lot of bow changes in what, for me, seemed like a very short time period. So I'm going to say the highest poundage I've drawn since the surgery is 50 pounds. This is on 60. So we'll see how I go. So it's solid, solid, solid. Then it drops in. I'm going to take the shot. Draw cycle's pretty good. It feels like an EC cam. So if you're familiar with PSE bows, it feels like that. It's really cold here. It feels like that. It's got a big valley. It's not going to want to rip down. It's not going to want to rip out of your hands. Big easy valley. 90% you get back there. 60-pound bow. So I'm holding 6 pounds back here. Now you torque that bow. You torque this, you grip your bow, this string is going to come off this cam and it's going to derail, and you're going to go, my bow just blew up. You torque the bow, 10% torque, and this thing will blow. Okay, so make sure you grip the bow correctly, like hands to the side, this hand should be loose. I just got out of a court case with someone about derailing a bow. When you derail a bow, the cams fold over. It's just the way it is. The strings will break. It will be a mess. More likely to do it with the shorter bows. More likely to do it if you're trying something new. More likely to do it if the bow's too heavy. So if you're buying a 70-pound bow, wind it down before you try drawing it back. And you know, with beginners starting out, I don't recommend buying an expensive bow like this. Start with a beginner bow. Get used to it, because they're generally more forgiving. With the higher bows, they are higher performance, and when things go wrong, they go wrong. And they're built for performance. So let's just try it again. So it's solid all the way. Like, it's a nice draw. The shot. So when you shoot the shot, the bow does a bit of that in your hand. And you can see the balance. The balance looks good, but when you shoot the shot, it does a little bit of that. I'm going to say there's other bows which are a little bit deader in the hand. It's pretty quiet. It's not bad. The draw cycle's good. But I'm going to say today, the top of the line bows, and we're talking about the $1,900 bows, are amazing. These bows are incredible, and they're so similar. They generally all have the same limbs, made by the same company, Gordon Glass. They all have, a lot of them will have timing systems, and they're all amazing bows. PSE have improved. I'm going to say have improved this bow over the old models. I'm going to say one of the problems I find is the NXT, which is a couple of years old now, 31, 33, 35, such a good bow. And if you had one of those, would you sell it to buy one of these? I don't think so. I'm not going to run this bow down, and I haven't shot at 18 meters yet. But I think there's not enough changes, and you're going to say, well, it's got this system up here, right, to move the bow. But with the old system, if the bow's correct for you, because sometimes it just needs to be shimmed for one person but then not another, because it's the amount of torque they provide to the hand grip. If the bow's shooting well for you, it's like, well, why do I need another bow? Because it's pretty much the same cam system. It's got Piccadilly, this Piccadilly thing. Well, don't even have a Piccadilly sight. So to me, it's almost, there's not enough steps between this model and the old model if you had the old model. So what I'm trying to say is, if I got that all around the wrong way, if you got the old model, I have not had one person with the old model upgrade their bow to this bow. Not one. And I've sold so many NXT 31s and 33s and 35s. EVLs, less so, because the 31s people really liked, that they just haven't upgraded. So you're not seeing that. You're not seeing the increase of sales with the new model, because there's not a lot of improvements that have been made to make people go, yeah, I really need the new model. That's my view. And this is the first time I shot this bow. But the wall's good. Look, there's a bit of noise in some of those other $1,900 bows, and I haven't shot them for a while. I haven't shot them for 6 months, but I think they might be a little bit quieter than this one. We're going to go back. I'm going to fit a sight. I'm going to take this off, see how this unbolts, fit a sight to it, and let's shoot at 80 meters and see how I go. Okay, I'm at 18 meters, and it's the morning after I started shooting this. I did shoot it last night, and I shot the arrows in the gold. They weren't great at 18, but it was too dark, and I was like, let's abandon it and do it again tomorrow. Now, I would say the arrows went straight through the bulldog target and into the wood, and I lost 2 points. So I'm shooting new arrows. So these ones are the Pandarus Ice Point. I was shooting the Skylon Paragons last night, so I haven't sighted these ones in. I just assumed they'll go in the same spot. Now, I was reading on the forums last night, on the PSE forum, and someone said, should they buy the Fortis or the Carbon 34? Now, the Carbon 34 is a lighter bow, but basically it's the same bow as this, but a carbon riser versus a metal riser. And these are the sorts of questions you get all the time. Should I buy this or should I buy that? You're ringing up the shop and asking for advice, or you're sending through an email asking for advice. And this is really hard for a store to answer, because if the customer goes, well, you gave me the wrong advice, then they can ask for their money back. So I always I do these videos and I basically give you the explanation. Carbon bow's lighter, this bow's heavier. Heavier bows will be a little bit more stable. Carbon bows are lighter, so good for walking around the bush because they're lighter. You can add more stabilizer weights to a carbon bow and achieve the same overall mass weight, and hence the carbon bow will be a little steadier. This bow is narrower in the grip than the carbon bow, which you may or may not prefer. So it's and the carbon bow is more expensive. Okay, so when I come up with this video and I do these reviews, I always think, well, if it was me as a customer, which bow would I prefer, and how does this rate to other bows, and where does it sort of sit? And that's why a lot of the time I'm just spent talking about, well, how this bow compares to the NXT 31, would I upgrade? It's a good bow, and all the bows today are very good. The question would be, if I had an NXT 31, would I upgrade it? And the answer would be no, because there's not enough here for me to upgrade it. There's not enough of improvements. There are improvements, but not enough for the amount of money I would lose. The carbon bow versus this bow. Look, this is a hunting bow, realistically. And for a hunting bow, I'd prefer lighter, so I would pay the extra for carbon bow. If the choice was between the two. The question I have, this bow's really fast. Would I prefer a faster bow or a softer bow? An easier bow to shoot, an easier bow to draw. So let's start shooting and let's just go through some of that stuff. Look, the sight pin is is really good on the target. And I haven't been shooting a lot of compound. I've been mainly shooting recurve, but it's really steady on the target. The bow's a nice weight. You can tell it's fast. And it's not an aggressive draw cycle like your full throttle, which is 370. This is 340 feet per second. So the other thing with the PSE, you can change the modules to get, like different let off or different draw cycles. You got fast, and it's the last two letters on the module. This is a high let off, HL on the module, just there on the module. You can go for low let off. I'd probably go for a low let off. Although on a hunting bow, high let off is good because you can sit there and aim. Why are you aiming? Because often the animal will be moving, you're waiting for the shot, you're waiting for the animal to walk behind a tree or sort of walk from behind a tree. Some people will be saying you're waiting for the animal not to be walking. Look, the point is you can aim longer with high let off because it's only 6 pounds. But you don't want to sit there and aim for like ages because your breath is going to be, the shot sequence not good. So last night when I shot, all the arrows were in the gold. I don't think I shot a red. But I shot there was no arrows touching. All the knocks were safe. And so it was okay, but it wasn't sort of great, and I don't know if that's me just returning to shooting after 6 months. But it was okay. Nothing that I went, wow, this is amazing. I'm guessing that one had a loose vein because it made a weird noise out of the boat. One of my customers traded in an Evoke 31. It's basically like brand new the other day. It was tan, and I think I sold it for 600 bucks. So this is 1900. Look, the Evoke is a really nice bow. I have the original Evolution, which was the first of the parallel limbs. I'm going to guess it's over 10 years old now, so I'm going to guess it's about 12, 13 years old. It's a good bow. This bow's better. This is absolutely better, but it's all about, well, how much is it worth, and how much do I shoot, and like if you've got a drive and you're upgrading to this bow, absolutely, this is a much better bow than the drive. I suppose one reason that you shoot PSE is you like PSE. It could be it's in stock, you like the feel of it, you've always owned PSE, you like the backup service that PSE offer. I'm going to say PSE is the best in the industry. And people are going to say, well, it's been slow lately, well, not as slow as some other companies, and I'm not having to go at the other companies. The whole supply chain thing is slow. PSE's been pretty good with their warranties. It just aims beautifully, it shoots nice. It's a good bow. I'm going to say again, all the other companies' bows at a similar price point are good bows too. And that's not helping you, but hopefully as this goes on, we'll start to compare some of the other bows. Look, I really like the Elite Envision. Similar size axle, I think it's the same. Probably similar brace height, slower. Smoother draw. I like the grip on the Envision. It's not like I hate this grip or anything. It's comfortable. This has a rubber grip, which some people will like. The Elite doesn't. So the Envision, I'm going to say, is quieter but slower. The faster the bow, generally the more noise and the more shock you feel. The Omnia from Elite is faster than the Envision, harder to draw, more noise than the Envision, so it's probably closer to this bow. I'm going to say more tunability. Like PSE is going to say, well, they've got this tunability system, well, you've got to buy their shim kits, so I'm going to say the Elite system's a little bit easier. The back pull on this is very solid. With the Omnias and the Elites, you've got that cable or the limb stop, cable stop. Again, they're all very solid. It's hard to pick the difference. The draw cycle is very similar to the Omnia. The Bowtech's interesting. It's got the rubber grip, which is plastic grip that you can detach. The cams that move to the side, very similar. That's it, let's go have a look at the arrows. Okay, so again, I didn't shoot these arrows before I did this video, and the group's off to the left. Now that could be because of the wind last night, could be because they're different arrows than I shot yesterday. They're the same spine as the arrows I shot last night, I'm pretty sure. Different make, and they grouped to the left, and yesterday there was a bit of wind, and this morning it's pretty calm. The group is substantially better than last night. There's no question this is a good group. I'm really, really happy with this group. I wasn't happy last night, but it was pretty terrible wind conditions and really, really bitter cold last night when I was shooting the video. So I'm really happy with this. Now what you'll notice is how far these arrows are penetrating into the target. This is foam at the front, foam at the back, and it's packed with material in the middle. These things are, going through. It's a fast bow. This is the arrow. Well, this is one of the arrows, loose vein. Still one in the middle. So that's pretty good. I'm very happy with that, because when you have a loose vein at the front, it can go really off. But look, really, really good. Now, when it comes to selecting a bow, it's going to depend on your shops in the area, what their view is on the different brands. I'm not wanting to pass the buck. Look, all the bows are really, really good. Talk to people and see what you think. I'm going to say the Bowtech and the Elite have good tunability as far as, the limbs and the cams. I think that's really clever technology. The new PSE shim system, you've got to buy the shims to do it, and you just pull them off and you put in other shims and the cams move. I haven't had a lot to do with it. A lot of people have brought the shim kits. It doesn't seem as simple as just like turning a grub screw and the cam moves left to right. Similar price point, so you've got to think about that. You've really got to say, what sort of bow do I want? Do I want a fast bow? This is a fast bow. It's got a good draw cycle, very adjustable. This bow in 5 years time, like I discussed the Evoke, the NXT, and even my Evolution, are still good bows. It will still be a sought after bow in 5 years. My question is, like at the price point of $1,900, $1,800 where this bow sits, it's very top end. So you've really got to think, well, do I want the carbon bow at that price point? Do I want to jump from a drive to this bow because of the cost? Do I want to buy a second hand? Second hand has no warranty. I get asked this all the time. Does second hand bows have warranty? No, they don't. So if you blow them up on the first draw, that's just tough luck. When I buy a second hand bow, I can't go back to the person I brought it from and go, guess what? The person I sold this bow to blew it up. I want my money back. It's not the way it works. So think about that. Like the Evoke I sold for $600, I think that was a great buy. Fantastic bow. Is this bow better? Look, it's got new stuff. So yes, you're going to say it's better than the Evoke. Things I would like to see on the PSE, I'd like adjustable grips. I'd like the limbs locking down. I'd like a lockdown system so you can lock the limbs down. That features on the Elites. I don't know if it features on the Bowtech, and that's just my ignorance. Look, the Hoyt's very, very similar. Slower, the cams are bigger on the Hoyt. Hoyt's good now. It's got lots of adjustability, which it didn't used to have. Nice looking bow. You've got to say, do I want the roller slides or the movable slide like this one? The justification for either. With a roller slide that is fixed, you'll feel less vibration forward or back. With this type of system, it doesn't create torque on the cables. So that's the sale point for this. The sale point for the roller system that you'll see on Matthews and the Elites is it doesn't torque the limb. Oh, sorry, you don't get the forward movement on the strings and the cables, so less vibration, less noise. What's interesting on this bow is all the limbs are identical. So on PSEs in the past, all 4 limbs have been different and they have to get put on a set order to stop cam lean. This is different with this. So anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. This is the PSE Fortis. Thanks for watching.